we would like to thank you for being here and talking about your art form. Most of the time when people think of Crossroads, they think of paintings. Well, these ain't paintings. These are something totally different and wonderful. So tell me first how you got into working with wood and the other forms of media that you put in.
Until about 4 years ago, I was in the corporate world and thought long and hard about what would I do that would make me really happy. Ended up combining different media in all kinds of ways, like you see here, and settled in on making sculptures as for now anyway, the most fun way of doing.
That's a good. These are fun pieces. They definitely are.
Thank you.
And last year in September, or even before that, we all teamed up on a project which I thought was great. It was your idea to incorporate the forest project, which Dawn Flores handles, and bring it here to Crossroads. This is one of the pieces from the forest project. So tell us a little bit about the forest project and your thoughts on it, and then how this piece came about.
First of all, I'm no expert on the forest project, but I found out about Dawn, what she was doing to try to save that piece of the forest. And Dawn Flores, had been given a certain time period for working with artists and documenting the forest, basically. So I called her up and said, can I pick up some wood in your forest? And she graciously let me do that, even lent me her chainsaw.
That's real trust, to lend somebody your chainsaw.
Almost wrecked, cutting off roots and stuff. But anyway, this particular, well, first of all, the piece is called Blue Tempest. And it has 3 components to it. A maple slice was actually storm-felled wood from our neighborhood. And this here was a naturally bent oak root from the forest at Dawn's place. So I picked that up, and what I do is I look at it and look at it, wait for it to talk to me. That took the longest time. But finally, I decided to make slices out of it like that, and they were already naturally semicircular, and they looked to me either like flames or just like strong wind. So I decided they looked like strong wind, so I made a tempest, and then made ceramic little pine trees or whatever to sway in the wind with it. So that's pretty typical of how I operate and what the process looks like.
Well, and it's interesting to hear the artist's interpretation. So I did not look at what the title of it was or anything. And my thought was, this was sort of like sea kelp. And this were the waves that you see and the flow of water around the sea kelp and how it makes it flow. So that, when I first saw it, that was my interpretation of it. This is wonderful. Thank you for sharing it with us. We've got a couple more that we're going to pull up and talk about as well. I'm gonna hold this up for a minute. And what we're gonna talk about, this is actually a combination of Cathy Vaughn's work. That she did the copper.
And I did the rest.
And you did the rest. Okay, so Cathy Vaughn, you can check on her website with us. We've already done a whole thing on how she takes the copper and gets this patina on it, which is quite amazing. And so this is a tag team effort. And so you did the pottery, and then you also did the wood, and you were just telling me about the wood from the other piece.
Right. I'll talk about the sequence of this. The wood here, the bent back, is from the same piece as the Blue Tempest that we just talked about. And I had this piece, sort of a leftover. It's absolutely gorgeous if you look closely at it. And I thought, okay, it's half a bowl, but not quite a bowl. How could I get a bowl made from it? Decided to try to make the rest of the bowl in ceramics, and in the back of my mind I had copper for something this color here and copper, just gorgeous together.
It is. It's beautiful.
I made the ceramic part and the wood part, and they looked okay, but it really needed some extra kick or bling.
So this is the bling, and I think you're exactly right. The bling got added, and it does. It completes it. It really does.
It's really gorgeous bling. And thank you, Cathy. Ended up with this fairly simple solution with which has her typical leaf etchings on it like that.
Well, it's a
So,
wonderful combination together. It's perfect.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you. So here's another question that we always ask everybody. If you were going to give advice to an artist that is starting out and doesn't know what they want to do, is coming from a corporate background or just getting out of school, what would be some good advice that you would give them to start out?
Talking to other artists, collecting their impressions, collecting their critique, which I also did, formally and informally, is very, very helpful, I find. And then you gradually, I think, we will zoom in what your expression is and what it works best for you.
I think you're right.
I would say Crossroads is a great place, especially for the openings.
Yeah, and artists are very willing to talk to other artists. They definitely are.
They are. And all the galleries in town and all the various exhibitions in town, great places to meet and talk to other artists.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Yay!
And thank you
Good
for,
job. We
thank
made
you for
it.
having me. Yeah.
Yay!